All right, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Just Hoop Talk, NBA Finals Edition with Justin Henry, Will Thompson, and man, have the tides turned in this conversation, man. We were talking about, oh man, are we even going to be able to have these episodes? Because it was looking ugly. Will, man, the Heat came back without Bam, without Dragic, and in a major way in this series. 2-1 fast, man. The Lakers definitely are in big trouble, just like Jimmy said. Talk about your thoughts of Game 3 and the Heat win.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing and the obvious answer is the first thing that jumps out is Jimmy Butler, man.
Yeah.
He played like a superstar. That was an elite level performance. And I saw something recently that said that was the first time that someone outscored, out-rebounded, and out-assisted LeBron James in an NBA Finals game, which was crazy, man. Like, he played like a legitimate superstar. And we talked about that. That's what the Heat really need from Jimmy Butler, is him to be a superstar for them to win. I don't know if he can repeat that performance, but it looked to him good, though, for sure, man.
Yeah, he was. I mean, what he missed, like 5-6 shots in the field, a 40-point triple-double. It does not get better than that.
Right.
And you got to look on the other side and look at LeBron James, man. And I know he put together a pretty solid effort, but for him, it was underwhelming. In an NBA Finals game, we're used to LeBron getting close to 30-point triple-doubles and also taking care of the basketball. When you see 8 turnovers, that's how you know the Heat defense were there to play, and they made a difference. The energy level for me was the big striking difference. In the fourth quarter, you could tell there was no quitting the Heat. They were going down dogging, talking shit back, posting them up. Like, you saw the little snarl from Tyler Hero, man. These guys, they're not trying to quit. And you could almost see the level of the Lakers deflate with each point. Like, the Lakers were up in the fourth quarter. In the entire fourth quarter, it felt like they were playing from behind. And once they got to that lead, man, it was like they sunk their teeth in and they didn't let it go, man.
Yeah, I think that was clear from the start that the Lakers didn't bring the same type of intensity that they brought in other games. You could see it in the Heat. Like, they looked more comfortable out there on the court. A lot of the series, the Lakers have been making their guys super uncomfortable as soon as they touch the ball. And I just didn't see that same level of intensity, mostly on the defensive end. I thought Game 2 was big for the Heat, man. I really did, because I thought the Lakers had an opportunity to just smash the Heat, just completely destroy them and end the series in Game 2. They let the Heat kind of hang around a little bit, and they let the game be relatively close. It never felt like the Heat were going to win that game.
Right.
But the Heat kept it close, and I thought that was big for them, and I thought they were able to build some confidence from Game 2, and I think that carried over into Game 3. And those dudes have a lot of confidence right now. There's one thing you can say about the Heat. I'm
like, where are they getting the confidence from, man? They lost two starters. You lose 2 starters in the NBA Finals, and you're already down 0-2. And Jimmy Butler really was just like, I still think we're going to win. Right. And they did. Like, he put the team on his back. And part of what I think there's a bigger issue is the inconsistency for the Lakers, man. The Lakers outside shooting, which has been pretty much their Achilles heel all year, it definitely showed up in that game. And when you got Danny Green missing shots, KCP a little inconsistent, those guys are starters getting starter minutes. You got to be able to put up more than 3-4 points, which is what we've been seeing out of those guys, unfortunately. And when you're in those big-time moments, defensively, they're getting beat. They're getting abused down low. Like, LeBron is having to switch on a Jimmy Butler instead of those guys, which is what they're paid to do. Those guys were in there to lock down some of those elite offensive threats. And I think that's where we're seeing problems here with the Lakers is those role players do have to elevate their game as well. And we kind of were missing some things from Anthony Davis as well.
Yeah, Anthony Davis did not look good. The other guys didn't look good. And I think LeBron clearly was frustrated. We saw him, I don't know if you saw him walk off the court before the game was over. That's when you know LeBron is frustrated. We've seen that a few times from him before. He looked like he was really frustrated with the way the team performed. Anthony Davis was just nowhere to be found, not just offensively, but defensively and rebounding. Those are just effort things, right? And so that tells me there was a lack of effort, maybe a lack of focus from the team in general. So we'll see moving forward. I honestly, I thought the Heat made some good adjustments. I thought them getting away from the zone defense, and just packing in the paint, playing man-to-man was a nice change of pace for them. And I really like Kelly Olynyk, man. I think that's a really good look for the Heat. I don't know what they're going to do if Bam Adebayo comes back. I like Kelly Olynyk's ability to pull the Lakers bigs away from the middle of the paint and pull them out the three-point line, because he'll shoot that thing, bro. Like, he'll catch it and fire. He's not afraid to shoot. And that, the Laker bigs have to respect that. And so that's opening the lane up a lot more for Jimmy Butler to drive and for Tyler Hero to drive. So I think that's something to watch for sure. Is Kelly Olynyk has been a difference maker.
Dude, that's a hell of a point, man, because we haven't really seen that this series. It's been mostly like Bam, injured Bam even. And I think they're letting Kelly Olynyk kind of expand that role. And it will be interesting to see, because we're going to be talking a little bit about Game 4 right now. But Bam is questionable to play. He's been raised up to questionable. There's going to be obviously 2 days of break. Now, the game on Tuesday and then the next game being on Friday. So Bam is going to be coming back. And is that a positive? Is that a negative for a team? Right. Do you want an 80% Bam, or do you want a fully healthy Kelly Olynyk Myers Leonard combo? That remains to be seen. But where I think that confidence is going to come in is like, hey, we're getting back one of our starters now. We just beat you without him. I think we can come in again, and the Lakers got to do some self-evaluation and say, all right, can our role players step up? Can Dwight Howard be more effective than he was in the game? Can we get the most out of a Danny Green or a KCP like they were hitting earlier in the series? It's going to come down to a lot of things, but obviously AD has to play better. I think that when you're considered a top 5 to 10 player in the league and you score 15 points in the game, it's just unacceptable. And we saw that earlier on in some of the other series too, with Portland and the Rockets, is when he kind of just dropped that level of play. He wasn't AD. The Lakers were vulnerable. Yeah. And, you can go back with most important, most valuable player. I'm not sure that Anthony Davis is the most valuable player for them to win. I think that's LeBron James. But I think he needs to play at that level in order for them to win.
Yeah, I think you're right. We have seen this before with the Lakers. When LeBron and AD don't look great, the other guys look awful. And so as they go, the other guys go. And I think AD is the biggest difference maker for sure. We know LeBron's going to show up, man. It's the finals. Yeah. LeBron pretty much has not ever not shown up. So we know he's going to show up. And so it really comes down to AD. They're
going to kill you in the comments for that one.
Yeah.
He didn't show up in the Mavs series.
Yeah. We'll go back to we'll talk recently. I guess we can go back. But we know he's going to show up. And so really it comes down to AD just having to be effective, because the Heat have no answer for Anthony Davis. Like, there's no reason he shouldn't be just destroying them on the boards, offensive boards, getting every rebound, and scoring down low. There's no way he should have 15 points in a game.
No,
it just shouldn't happen. And I don't see it happening again. But one thing that's really important to bring up is that Game 5 is on Friday. So there's a 2-day break. It's the biggest break of the finals in between Game 4 and Game 5. So I guarantee the Heat know that.
Yep.
So if they're able to steal another win and tie the series at 2 and get an extra day of rest for their guys to potentially get healthy again, that could be a huge difference maker for them. So I know the Heat are going to be extremely motivated to steal another win for sure.
Well, you got to think the Lakers are as well. They probably know. They're like, all right, I see that those days of rest. And LeBron is like, hey, let me just put my foot on the gas, put my foot on their neck this game, and let's get the rest that we need, because Danny Green's a little banged up too. And they need to, I'm sure they got some older guys on the roster that need to get their rest and are used to playing back-to-back every single game. And, like, I think that's the kind of team that you give LeBron James an extra day of rest, an extra day of recovery, that might be all he needs to close it out. So I think we're going to get the best of LeBron tomorrow. I think it all depends on if we get the best of AD. If we get 15 to 20 point AD, it's going to be another Heat win. If we get 35 to 40 point Jimmy Butler and no answer to stop him, it's going to be a Heat win. And I don't doubt that can happen. And I think I want to go to predictions for this game and who we think is going to win. But I don't doubt that the Heat can win this game. There was a point in this series where I was bringing out the broom, man. The broom was
sure.
out. It was 4-0. I was like,
sure.
Lakers, this is over. It's done. But I think that the mentality we've talked about all season with this Heat team, man, the Heat have just something different about those boys out there, man. They're dogs. They do not quit. Yeah, Lakers got dogs too, but this Heat team, they just that culture, they don't play to lose. They play no matter who's on that roster. They're playing to win, man.
Yeah.
I want to get into your thoughts. Who do you think wins game 4? The pivotal matchup, game 4, is can either tie the series, stretch it out to a hard to come back from 3-1 lead. Who you got?
I'm shaking it up, man. I'm going with a double-digit win for the Heat.
Woo!
Double-digit win.
Double-digit?
Yeah, I think, man, I feel like the momentum is shifting towards the Heat. They're riding high. The confidence is high. Their swag is crazy right now. Tyler Hero snarling, looking wild, man. I'm going with the Heat to ride it out. I don't know if they'll win the series, but I think they're going to make things very interesting after game.
Man, that's a big one, dude. A double-digit win for the Heat. I think this is a game where the Lakers figure it out. And I'm not just saying that as a Laker fan. This is somebody who's watched many finals games. You can kind of – I watch a lot of Laker games in general. And with this team, when they get knocked down, they always seem to get back up. That's the one thing we've seen in the Portland series. They were like, oh, Portland's going to take over. They're going to win. The Rockets, oh, small ball's here to stay. Last series with the Nuggets, man, they're making a move. Jamal Murray's heating up. And now we're kind of seeing the same thing with the Heat. And I feel like the Heat played damn near a perfect game last week.
Yeah.
Or, in the last game. And – they came out with the win in the fourth quarter. I think the Lakers didn't play their best game at all. And so we see our best effort from the Lakers. Pretty much a wrap.
Yeah, man. This is going to be a good game. I'm just glad we have some good games coming up, dude.
Yeah.
It looked really bad, and now there's a little bit of excitement, something to look forward to for this series, so I'm hyped for it for sure.
Man, we'll see how it goes. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We got game 4. You got Lakers, you got Heat. Double-digit win, close game in the fourth quarter. Let us know. Also, be sure to subscribe on the podcast. Click that red button if you're on YouTube. JustHoopTalk, another edition in the books.
Yes, sir.
We're out.
Peace.